So I've gotten all these fronts as close as I can. I will say for this project scope and what the client is expecting, it's within tolerance. That's a good way to put it. However, we are striving to be the foremost maker. We're striving to be the foremost maker in the region, and I want to show you what the foremost maker in the region looks like. It's hard to see here, and I'm going to stick my head in the camera first to make sure I'm on there. You can't really see it on the front, but if I hold it on the back, at the very, very bottom, you can see that it's tight, 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 and then it gaps out a little bit. So what I've discovered is the face frame wasn't perfectly tight clamped to the cabinet. So the bottom of the face frame is kicked out a little bit. And that's what's causing us to be fighting some of this. You can see that we're touching on the bottom, but there's a little gap right here. So meaning that the cabinet face frame is pushing out the drawer fronts. So this is the max I can do to adjust this. We're going to fail forward. We're going to learn from this. And when we're assembling our cabinets, we're going to continue doing a straight edge on here. I know we had some new team members learning on these projects, so there's no better way to fail forward on this, especially when the level of risk is where it's at. So now that we've gotten all the drawer fronts tilted in the correct manner, like I said, they're within tolerance. I'm looking at the fronts here because, like I said, the easiest way to do this is before we attach drawer fronts. Because now that the drawer fronts are attached, we have a different game that we're working with. So now the drawer fronts are slightly crooked. So you can see that this is fairly snug across the whole way there. The left side, it's okay, but on the right side, it's tighter. You can see the drawer moves more on the right than it does on the left. So that means that one of these two is crooked. If I was going to put it up here and look, I feel like the top, you can see there's some imperfections of face frame, that's fine. But the top is fairly straight. So I believe it's this drawer. As I'm looking at here, I'm looking here and I see about 3/16, about a quarter, and then over here might be closer to 5/16. Yet again, I'm using a straight edge as a clear visual indicator. So you can see that the middle front there's a gap there and it's touching down here. So I need to tilt this middle front. Fortunately, there's some adjusters on the very bottom, and I'll show you. Chris, why don't you come down to the bottom here? You can see these plastic wedges, they lock into place. So now I moved it too much, so I'm going to move them back up. And need to move it on this side 1 notch. This one could come down a little bit. I'm clearly looking at these, and I'm looking for this quality control that all the fronts are touching and that it's even across everything here. So I could continue to fuss with this for a while. This cabinet still needs to be installed, but it's within tolerance, and I'm glad to know that I'm shipping it in a manner that it can be received again in the field and adjusted to that same level. When somebody takes the drawers out to mount the cabinet, they might be bumping these adjustment knobs and adjustment wedges, but I now know I can say, hey, it left the shop in the best condition possible. That's what we want to deliver to the client.